For 30 years, I carried the same photograph everywhere I went. A small picture of my son taken before the day he disappeared. Every birthday, every holiday, every lonely night, I looked at that picture and wondered one question. Where are you? Then one ordinary morning, while sitting alone in a coffee shop, a stranger noticed the photo in my hand. He walked toward my table, placed a folder down, and asked, "Are you still looking for him?" I thought it was impossible. Nobody knew about my search. Nobody knew my son's story. Then he opened the folder and said, "Everything about the kidnapping 30 years ago is inside here." My hands started shaking. I asked him, "How do you know all this?" He looked directly into my eyes and said, "Because I'm the kid in that photo. My name is David, and for most of my life, I lived with a question that never had an answer. Where is my son? 30 years ago, I was a father with a happy family. My son, Daniel, was only 6 years old. He was the kind of child who could make anyone smile. He loved drawing pictures, playing outside, and asking endless questions about the world. Every morning before school, he would run into my room and say, "Dad, today is going to be the best day ever." I never knew how much those words would mean to me later, because one afternoon changed everything. It was a normal day. Daniel was playing outside near our home. I was inside working. Only a few minutes passed, but when I looked outside, he was gone. At first, I thought he was hiding. I called his name. I searched every room, then every street, then the entire neighborhood. But Daniel had disappeared. The police came. Neighbors searched. Everyone tried to help. But days became weeks. Weeks became months. And months became years. The investigation eventually became a cold case. But for me, it never ended. I refused to believe my son was gone. Every year on his birthday, I placed his photograph on the table and made the same wish. Please come home. People told me I needed to move on. They said 30 years was too long. They said maybe I needed to accept reality. But a parent's heart does not work that way. A parent never stops searching. Over the years, I collected every piece of information I could find. Newspaper articles, police reports, old photographs, every possible clue. And one photograph became my most valuable possession. It was the last picture I had of Daniel. A picture of a smiling little boy standing in our backyard. I carried that photo everywhere. Then came the morning that changed my entire life. I was sitting in a small coffee shop downtown. I was drinking coffee and looking at Daniel's picture like I had done thousands of times before. I didn't notice the man sitting across from me, but he noticed me. After several minutes, he walked toward my table. He was around my age. He looked nervous. He placed a brown folder in front of me. Then he asked, "Are you still looking for him?" I looked confused. "Looking for who?" He pointed at the photograph. "My son." The man became quiet. Then he said, "I know what happened 30 years ago." My heart started beating faster. "How?" He opened the folder. Inside were documents, old records, photographs, reports, things only someone connected to the case would know. My hands began shaking. I asked, "Who are you?" He looked at the picture again. Then he said something I never thought I would hear. "I'm the child in that photo." The world seemed to stop. I stared at him. "No," I whispered. "That's impossible." He took a deep breath. "My name is Michael now. But when I was a child, my name was Daniel." I couldn't speak. My eyes filled with tears. For 30 years, I had imagined this moment, but I never imagined it would happen in a coffee shop. He explained that he had spent most of his life not knowing the truth. After he disappeared, someone changed his identity. He was taken far away and raised under a different name. As he grew older, small memories started coming back. A backyard, a man calling his name, a woman singing before bedtime, fragments of a life he couldn't understand. Years later, he discovered old documents that revealed his real identity. He started searching, and eventually, he found the missing person report. My name, his father's name, the photograph, everything connected. I looked at him carefully. I noticed small things, the same smile, the same eyes, the same way he moved his hands when he talked. The pieces of my son were right in front of me. I reached across the table and held his hand. For 30 years, I wondered if I would ever see him again. And suddenly, there he was, my son. The investigation reopened. Authorities reviewed the old case. New information came out. The people responsible had hidden the truth for decades. But nothing mattered more than having my son back. Of course, 30 years cannot disappear overnight. We had missed birthdays, holidays, important moments. We were strangers who shared the same blood. But we decided to rebuild. Slowly, one conversation at a time, one memory at a time. One day, Michael showed me something. He had kept a small drawing from his childhood, a drawing of a house, a tree, and a father holding his son's hand. He said, I don't remember making this, but I think some part of me always remembered you. That was the moment I realized something powerful. Love can survive distance, time, and even years of separation, because some connections are stronger than anything in this world. 30 years is a long time to wait, but I learned something important. Never give up on the people you love. Sometimes life takes people away from us. Sometimes answers come later than we expect, but hope has a power that we cannot understand. A missing person is never just a name on a file. They are someone's child, someone's parent, someone's entire world. And if there is one thing I know today, it is this: true love never forgets,